Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about the official trailer that dropped today for Ozark Season 3. If you haven't seen it already, I'll include a link to it in the description down below. But a lot of really interesting things were in this trailer. First of all, that opening where you have like Wendy pointing the gun at Marty, like even her like smiling at him first and then pointing the gun. My mind immediately is thinking, well, one of two things. One, that's like maybe middle or near the end of the season where Marty's kind of really screwed things up with the cartel, maybe, and that's Wendy potentially making a choice for the family. Or it's either a dream because Marty's worried about Wendy's dark side. Either this is either that's like picking up right after season 2, or like so he's dreaming about that, or it could be a situation of Wendy's kind of crossed some lines even more so throughout the season, and Marty was having that nightmare. It could be either way, and either one would be really interesting because the fact is that would mean that Marty is actually scared of Wendy. And that's kind of a terrifying thing because, like, you know, the whole point of like, oh, at the end of season 1 and throughout season 2, they were supposed to be coming back together because it's like, oh, we're in this together as a family. You don't have to face this alone. And now it's almost like there's a part of Marty that's probably trying to get away from his wife because it's like, for him, it's like, I literally planned everything out in season 2 for us to get out, but you dragged us deeper, you know? It's not even like, oh, I try to go out, you know, I try to leave and they pull us back in. It's like, no, we try to leave and you pulled us back in, you know? And so that that's the thing I've talked about it before, is what I'm looking for the most. It's like where Marty and Wendy are going to be in this situation, because Marty's just kind of done with this thing. It's kind of like, we're in this and I have to be. The fact is he does love Wendy, but he's seeing a different side of Wendy. Like I said, season 2 kind of showed us and let us kind of learn from a backstory that Wendy's definitely always had a darker side, but it's almost like this whole situation with the cartel has kind of helped her become who she really always was. It's like, oh, she's always had this darker side and it's just kind of bubbled more to the surface. Once again, the cartel basically helped Wendy become who she's always wanted to be, you know? And so that's going to be a struggle because, you know, they're even in like having a marriage counseling session, and like, you know, Marty's talking about the fact is everything he's done was for the family and everything, which she's like, oh, that's BS, because he's suggesting everything she's doing is for herself because she enjoys like the power and the position, you know? And so, and it seems like that's going to be an element to all of this too. It's like for once you got to be honest for yourself, Marty. What's the real reason why you're doing this? Are you really just trying to do it, or could it be a situation of you want to prove that you're smarter? You want to prove that you can, you know, are you going a little Walt where it's like the fact is that you want to prove that you can do this, that, you know, it's like you do enjoy this. Like, what is your reasoning behind this? What do you want? Who are you really? You know, Wendy's found herself, and now Marty's still potentially figuring himself out because he probably thinks like, oh, this is who I am. This is what I'm trying to do. But is that true? Are you being true to yourself? I mean, the entire thing about like, it seems like he's funneling money from the casino, trying to not let the cartel know that what he's up. He's even having Ruth like lie and be like, yeah, Ruth, I don't need you, don't tell Wendy about what I'm doing, which even Ruth's like, I'm not your marriage counsel. I mean, to be fair, Ruth literally got screwed over last season because of this whole cartel business, and it's like, last thing she wants to do is kind of get mixed up in that, like, you know, she's finding Daniel being mixed up in this world and stuff like that. I mean, once again, like, everything was supposed to be on her end, you know, because that was the whole point of what, you know, Marty was setting up last season, but obviously that kind of fell through. So I'm curious to see how that all ends up, you know, playing out. But even to the point showing that Marty doesn't trust Wendy, the fact is it seems like he's got her phone tapped and everything. I was like, yo, and we see it like instances of like the FBI, once again, like petty. I mean, granted, it was Ruth's dad that killed Petty, but still, it's, you know, that's Trevor, you know, we see him, so I think he's definitely going to be pushing this investigation because they found, obviously, Petty's vehicle. Oh, was it Petty's vehicle, I think? Yeah, I don't think it was Ruth's dad. I can't remember. But it's that whole side of things is definitely going to, like, kick up. Someone had suggested like the Kansas City mob versus the cartel would be a thing this season, and I'm curious because the actor who plays Tommy from Power is in this, and I'm curious, is that who he's playing? Because we see him a little bit throughout the trailer, but I'm wondering, is that him, or is he part of that, or is he actually someone Ruth knows? Because if you see him talking to Ruth later on, but I'm wondering, is that just like, oh, because he's at the casino enough and, you know, she's there enough, or, you know, it'd be interesting. I mean, it'd be interesting if we end up finding out the fact he's actually family, because they don't actually have much family left because most of their family's dead now, including her dad, you know? So it's like, it'd be interesting if that was kind of extended family. Maybe it'll go down that lane, maybe it won't. We also see Darlene a little bit of like, you know, kind of assuming at some point, and this is something I had suggested before, the fact is that Wendy probably got the baby back, got Mason's baby back, and Darlene's probably not too happy about it because it's like, oh, we had a deal and everything. You're kind of recanting on that, so... Obviously, you know, Darlene's in this for herself as well, but you know, it's still, you know, I mean, to be fair, that could be like, I don't know if Darlene has any, they could be other members of the Kansas City mob. I'm about to say they don't actually have, to our knowledge, they don't have any extended families. I mean, they never had any kids, so that's why I'm like, that's why I'm wondering like who Tommy from Power's character is. I mean, to be fair, he could be actually with the cartel too, you know, like Helen, which even at one point we see her getting tortured, where I'm assuming like they found out about what Marty was doing, but they thought Helen was doing it, maybe potentially not, unless that's someone else doing that. I don't know. I'm curious to see, you know, what ends up happening with the kids, like where do they find themselves in all of this? You know, it's like, you know, especially, I wonder will they ever find out what Wendy did calling a hit out on Ruth's dad? Will Ruth ever find out, you know? Either way, I am so excited to see season 3 in all of its glory. I'm so pumped to see like what ends up going down this season. Obviously, these are just all my thoughts. I'd love to get to know yours in the comments down below. But really, that's all I want to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.